Excellent. Oh, the technology gods are with us. Great. You can see me and hear me okay, Paul?
I'm kidding. I can, yeah.
Oh, that's so not funny. My tummy just dropped. That was mean. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. It's Ryan Lanier of Organizing for Good, bringing you another installment of my passion project of interviewing nonprofits around Austin and reaching out farther about the great things that are going on, and also what challenges are being faced in this crazy year with COVID, and also how can we support. Just because we're stuck at home and not together all the time doesn't mean we can't support, and guess what? The need is even greater. So so today I have Paul Carrozza, and he's kind of a bit of an Austin celeb. So I'm very excited to have him on the show today. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So I'd like you to start by introducing, yourself and the entity that I'm interviewing you about today. Sure. And just let us know what's going on.
All right. Well, I'm been in the running world for probably since I'm 58 now, so about the last 53 years. So I started when I was 5.
Wow.
I was thinking about what am I the thing that meant a lot to me early on in life was my running. It's been a lifetime passion, but I became a competitive athlete. I was a basketball player in high school. I ran some track, but I actually focused on track through college and then post-collegiate. And then with Run Tex, I kind of made a lifetime of it, and worked with hundreds of thousands of runners in Austin, and worked with hundreds of nonprofits and hundreds of or thousands of sponsorship entities or companies and businesses. So we built, through a collaborative effort, the Austin running scene, and the core of all of it has been sort of this inclusive passion to get people running. And I think that there's a differentiation for me between running and jogging. Jogging is great. It's what we do in our warm up and our warm down, and sometimes on recovery. But I like to get people running because running is a much more efficient activity, and you get great benefits emotionally when you actually get to run hard. So, I've spent a lifetime figuring out how to get people running. It's kind of like becoming a boxer. Just because we have fight or flight doesn't make us a runner or a boxer. And so a lot of people think when they go out to run, they should be able to start off right from the beginning and be able to go run long distances, or they're not a runner, and that's just not how it works. So in all of that, I'm now working with Boneshaker Project, which is a nonprofit started by Todd Reed here in Austin, and his focus was bringing bicycling to after-school and in-school programs in Central Texas. And I got involved a few years back and was able to add to it running. And when you look at working with schools, having to have the hardware of bicycles and the complication that brings to it, there's a barrier of entry. So it was limited in its scale. But 25 years ago, I worked with Kay Morris and the Austin, all the school districts in Central Texas, and we started bringing our kids, which was a very successful in-school, after-school running program. And it was very much teaching kids how to pace themselves and break things up into segments and have a long-term goal. And we had the kickoff mile and the final mile. So that was a passion project of mine, and profession project. And then Born to Run is something I've been working on in the last 15 years, where Born to Run is like a methodology on my way of getting people into running. And so what I do with Boneshaker Project is the channel in which we take Born to Run program, which is a highly successful running program, into the schools to teach the kids how to become runners. And what we do is pretty exciting. We find every elementary school in Austin and the surrounding areas has a few passionate runners on campus. They may or may not be teacher, administrator, PE teacher, but they love to run. So when we approach the school, they always know exactly who should be the coach. And so we take care of the coach. We train them on our system of running, which is very progressive. Lots sometimes athletics, there's more kids that want to be on the team that can be on the team. So athletic programs in school sometimes are a process of elimination. And the Born to Run program is an inclusive process of progression. And so we teach the coach how to coach running. It's a little bit like learning how to swim or ride a bike. If you can do it as a child, you're going to be such an efficient runner as an adult. If you don't, it's like learning how to ride a bike as an adult. It's a little more difficult. You're not quite as good as you could.
Much in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get them hardwired before the wires harden. And so
I like that.
Yeah, and so we meet once or twice a week at the school. We pay the Boneshaker Project pays the coach, so it's an extra stipend for a teacher. We give the kids a Born to Run shirt, powered by Boneshaker, that's in their school colors, and then we train them up over the period of the semester, and then we go to like the winter is generally the Trail of Lights fun run. So schools provide a bus, they get on a bus, they go to a special event, they get to go through the Trail of Lights before anybody else does and run through. Thing they do, like last year was the Sunshine Run, and actually it was virtual this last spring, but in the past it's been a physical event. So I really believe that you can, provide hope, direction, leadership, and so there's going to be two outcomes. One is that some kids are going to find their passion for a lifetime of running. They're going to find their passion and their talent is going to get them to college and running. Right. And so because we're using high-end training techniques that have proven itself to get people on the U.S. team, get people to Texas. The Born to Run program produces collegiate runners yearly from Austin high schools. And so we see that channeling from elementary school into if they learn how to run in elementary school, we don't beat them down. We're just teaching. Running. We're not. Until you go through puberty, there's no reason to train hard until you go through puberty. No, you don't have the response to training that you have post puberty. So we just teach skills, patterns, and then we keep it comfortable. And then they go through middle school and into high school, and they've got this ability to run just like they can always ride a bike and they always go swimming if they learned when they were young. So there's different degrees of being a runner. There's learning how to run, then there's becoming, proficient at it, and there's becoming competitive at it. And so we're kind of changing their trajectory, and it's super exciting. We're out in Dell Valley in Manor. We went through a pilot program last year with elementary schools. We've been in middle schools in the past. Elementary schools is the sweet spot because our ratio, we like one teacher, one coach per 25 kids, 2 days a week. And so at the elementary school level, there's just an abundance of kids who want to do this. They're still in the formative years. Yes. So we proved ourselves at both school districts, and we're now expanding into more elementary schools. And then after COVID has given us a little bit of a slowdown, we had to go virtual. So we do have an online program that sends the kids their workouts every day. So they learned while we were in school what the words mean. Activities, so the kids have something to stay focused on, and then they were able to virtual run. So when you're working with kids that don't have the resources that others have, getting a race packet with a new shirt and getting to go to an event that might cost normally $40 to $50 to run and hit the finish line and get all the goodies you get at a race. So kids just light up. It's the most exciting thing. When we went out to the Trail of Lights last year in the winter, and saw the kids in the Trail of Lights that they're getting ready to run, they were just completely alive and had to work for it. It wasn't like they just got on a field trip; they earned the trip. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's a lifetime memory type thing.
Yeah, it really is, sure. and so it's definitely something that I see. A lot of possibility for expansion in all the school districts that surround Austin. And so that's kind of my passion project, and it's such I call it low cost, high impact, super efficient. Right. It's that's super great. Efficient. And we've had such great support. We have a match grant from the San Griel Foundation, a $45 match grant that we're raising money to fund for this 2021 year. is super generous of them. So, we're asking people to, give to it and
It'll be
match those
matched.
dollars, and we'll be able to continue to expand. We're well funded for this year. We're trying to stay ahead of that, and
Right, always.
through the match grant, we're trying to get to the level when we have 10 to 15 school districts and 10, there's a lot of elementary schools out there. So we think we can be systemic in Texas in 3 to 5 years.
That's fantastic. It's really good that you have a simple model, that the model is very, we talked on our call earlier, the Girls on the Run program is similar, but they use parent volunteers for coaches. And, that's a piece of it that is hard.
Yeah,
so you've taken away that. That's very smart.
Yeah, we professionalized it, and it's so easy for us to train teachers that are already good at teaching, and they already know the kids.
Yes.
Early years when we were doing these after-school programs, we were bringing people to the table every day, and there was that, traffic and getting there for an hour and having enough people to spread out, and then they got to get to know the kids, and then we found all the pieces, right? We're just trying to make it super simple, make it scalable, because that's why Marathon Kids works so well. They provided the incentives and reward for, before Marathon Kids, there were schools, there were teachers, there were kids, and there were parents. And it wasn't until we came in with incentives and rewards that everybody aligned their interests and become runners that spread wildfire, right? And
Right.
What I want to leave with my running legacy is I want there to be a Born to Run running club at every elementary school in Central Texas that will live on for years, so that it's perpetuating, because it's so easy to sell at the school level that buy the upfront money to get it on its feet. And then literally, if you have 50 kids do it, and it's a $10 t-shirt, $500 for the teacher per semester. So you're looking at a few thousands of dollars for those 50 kids in the fall and 50 kids in the spring. It's super efficient, and we have a very efficient, administrative model, because it's like we're teaching them. They're already there. It takes very few people to do that. I mean, it's so simple.
I love that it gives the kids and teacher, if it's a teacher coach, a different way to connect over. Not just classroom. I mean, I think that's actually a huge piece of it.
Yeah, there's a bonding that happens that's priceless, really. Yesterday I had a Zoom call with the Del Valley kids, and you could see what's going on with technology, because they're not back in school yet, so we're doing a Zoom these days, and one kid was on, but his microphone and his camera was broken on his computer, so he could hear me and see me, but he had to message me that he acknowledged that I had to ask him, because I could never see him or hear him. I'm like, are you hearing me? Did you get that point? And the other part is that kids are on a computer when we're wanting to get them out and run. So I'm teaching them to do, and then I'm the one that's in my backyard with my phone, and I'm showing them the drills. I'm running away from the phone and back, and technology allows us to do that. You think about that. So the broadcast nature of this is pretty exciting, and not having to draw. I can't wait to go out to the school and meet these kids, right? And go. I can go. I also don't want a program that's limited in scale based on the size of Boneshaker staff, right? To how we can scale, because we're taking this people that are already there, do with an hour of time twice a week, that's going to touch. And if you touch kids at 100 schools in the fall, and sometimes just what's happening is they're deciding whether the same kids get to do it or they rotate new kids. And I leave a lot of management to the schools, because they know their kids. Some schools are saying, it's an honor to be in this program.
Oh, no doubt.
They get to pick their kids.
No doubt. So you're creating a little army, of your people, your perpetuating.
And what's going to happen through time is, besides, me having to become 70 for it to play out, we're going to have kids, we're going to have third graders that are running at University of Texas because they were exposed to it. localist. Like I've been on the President's Council on Fitness in the Bush administration, and I know what it's like to try to do a national campaign, and I came back from that and was like, we got to start the Texas Council on Fitness. We did that, and that was so difficult to take on Texas. I'm like, I'm going to take on Austin because my efforts are going to pay off. So I'm a huge localist. I think the only way is be successful locally and then share it, scale through technology, and let other people in other markets, do what we do, but we don't have to be there.
Without a doubt. Yeah. So we put the link for the matching give program. We put that on Facebook, and definitely, because what you created is so simple, but yet it definitely needs to be funded for sure.
It's worth it.
Have you gotten to the point where maybe you're having any kids who have graduated through the program come back and help coach the next generation? Are we not quite there yet?
Well, we have kids that are in college right now that are born during pandemic. We have kids that are definitely post-collegiate that have been through my program, my system, that didn't come from Born to Run that's on the east side necessarily, but they were definitely Born to Run athletes that are collegiate runners or post-collegiate. So what we're doing with those is, it's hard to be special if you're there every day. So we're going to take these mentors and take them in on occasion, special occasions, but we want the bond to be with the local coach.
Yes, for sure.
We want support. Like, I don't want to just touch people. I want to change people. So we'll come to occasions, and then they'll be there because they do the work week in and week out. We get to come in and make them know that people care, and that they can tell their stories of they were just like them in third grade, and now look what they've done. And so it's super simple. We have so many Olympians in Austin that are runners that, like Leo Manzano has come out and signed autographs for hours at schools for kids that wanted to get to meet a silver medalist in the Olympics. And
that's great.
Yeah, so it's a nice touch point, but we want sustainable change and preparing kids for the next level is our goal.
That's so great. So I imagine, do you get any feedback from parents on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a cultural shift. The parents you're talking about Girls on the Run, which is a great program, but parents as coaches is probably, you could probably get away with that in elementary school. You're not going to, middle school is going to get a little iffy, and high school is but we found the parents they come and hang out, and because it's after school, so they may come and start getting involved and add sort of substance to the group. In elementary school, that's fine because the kids aren't acting like their parents are weird. They're not at that age yet.
Yeah. Right.
So their parents, they still love them.
Yes. Right. They're not horrified by them. Yes, correct.
So it's working. It works really well. It's taken me, literally 30 years and millions of dollars to get it this simple.
Wow.
And, yeah. So it's really exciting because I know it's scalable now, and we don't have to develop the technology to do it anymore. It's been developed. We just use it. Right. Like, we don't have to be a software company teaching running. I have a Final Surge app that it's already built, super efficient. It's like $40 a month per 100 kids, and they get an email with every day's workout, and they can go in and log in that they did it. It all rolls up, and we can now have trackability and accountability. So.
That's great. If only the world ran so smoothly.
I know, it's possible. It's possible. Just got to align everyone's interests.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're doing is really important. I'm, love hearing about it. And would you say you want people to go look?
If you go to boneshaker.org, you're going to see the running program that we have, and the kids' faces, and it's, you think about it now, like, right now, the running, I see this every day because I'm coaching every day. Running is the socialist, because they don't socialize in class. They don't get recess. They don't, this is it. So
it's huge. Yeah.
Everyone's got a mask on except when they're running. We're like the golden ticket.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
you go to school and you have to have a mask on, so you might, that's just, everything is constrained, right? There's just, then you get out to running and now you can talk to your friends, your mood is safe. You know, CDC has said that running, golfing, and swimming are the 3 absolute safest things you can do right now. So outdoors.
Followed closely by tennis.
What's that?
Followed closely by tennis.
Oh yeah, tennis is, I think, I don't know why tennis wasn't on the top 3.
I know.
Maybe because you're touching a racket. I don't know.
I'm not so sure. I mean, anyway, but anyway, so it's a special sauce right now. It's so needed. It's so needed. So, great. Is there anything I haven't, asked you about that you would want to share before we close it?
I think we're at the point in time when everyone understands the benefits of exercise. And, I can just tell you that athleticizing exercise has been what makes things special. So my big mantra is be on a team, have a coach, train for something specific and special, and have the proper gear. So exercise is, in my world, punitive labor. I've never exercised in my life, but I've been training my whole life.
Okay.
Right?
I like that.
So,
purpose.
Yes.
You're giving it purpose.
Right. Purpose. So we had kids are training for this Trail Lights fun run, right? So they understand that there's a goal off on the horizon. We're training, preparing for it. You don't have to show up in shape, but you're going to end up in shape. And that's key. Most athletic teams that are exclusive do more demand than supply. They have to have kids show up in shape or you're not going to make the team. So that's sort of a non-inclusive, represent your school. That's all great. I mean, I was part of that. I'm still part of that. But my nature is saying I want to build the base for kids that can be developed. And you never know what's going to happen after puberty. So you have kids that if they learn the skills young and then they mature into being a great athlete, you don't have to start with the skills, you're starting with the training. And so there are kids that just surprise the heck out of you when they mature and they're already have the skills.
It's great. I love it. This is wonderful. It's
Thank
so
you.
nice. So nice talking to you. I've learned
Nice to
so
talk to you.
much. Yeah. And
You have to join me out on one of the workouts. So I'll
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Now that we made it through the beastly hotness, it would be good. It would be good. Yes. I'll check out Born to Run ATX as well.
Thank you. Yes. If you really want to hone your game, come, I'll coach you.
I need to hone some game. I do. Right. I do. I'm mean on the tennis court, but when I get out to run, I'm like, eh.
Well, if you train with us, the third set you won't be fatigued.
That sounds like a good plan. So, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to hang on. I have to figure out how to do this, end this smoothly. Hold on.
Nice.
Stop recording. There we go. Stop recording. Yes.